Hi everyone, welcome to Have You Heard? I'm Richard, and today we're listening to Genesis, and we're taking in a long track. This is number 6 of the Epic Track Reviews, and we're going to be listening to Selling England by the Pound, and we'll be doing the cinema show, and I think we'll tag on Isle of Plenty at the end just to round off the album, and they kind of go together. Um, yeah, this is about 12 minutes worth of music, and of course, Selling England by the Pound was um, maybe Foxtrot was the breakthrough album, and this was the one that consolidated them as one of the top progressive rock bands in the UK. It got to number 3 in the UK charts, Selling England by the Pound. Only number 70 in the States. The States took a bit longer to find out all about Peter Gabriel and everyone's English public school whimsy, I guess. But this album was, of course, themed around the loss of Englishness in the British world at the time, and the potential coming under the influence of more United States influences, hence the Selling England by the Pound, um, and that theme kind of carries on throughout the entire album. Um, but let's listen to the cinema show first of all, because that's why we're here. We want to listen to the music, and this is such a wonderful, beautiful track, split into two halves, of course, and then we'll get Isle of Plenty on at the end, and we'll just let it carry and bleed on straight into that. Lots to talk about, but let's listen to the lovely music first of all. So here we go. Released on the 5th of October 1973 from the album Selling England by the Pound. It's Genesis and The Cinema Show.
Home from work, our Juliet clears her morning meal. She dabs her skin with pretty smells concealing to appeal. I will make my bed, she said, but turn to go. Can she be late for her cinema show? Cinema show. Romeo locks his basement flat and scurries up the stair with head held high and floral tie, a weekend millionaire. I will make my bed with her tonight, he cries. Can he fail, armed with his chocolate surprise? Take a little trip back with Father Tiresias. Listen to the old one speak of all he has lived through. I have crossed between a man like the sea I raged. Once a woman like the earth I gave. But there is in fact more earth than sea. Take a little trip back with Father Tiresias. Listen to the old one speak of all he has lived through. I have crossed between the poles. To me there's no mystery. Once a man like the sea I raged. Once a woman like the earth I gave. But there is in fact more earth than sea. I don't belong here, said old Tessa out loud. Easy love, there's the safe way home. Thankful for her fine fair discount. Tess cooperates. Still alone in oh hello. See the deadly nightshade grow.
There we go. I thought it would seamlessly run into Isle of Plenty on Spotify. Sorry there was that slight gap and then it restarted again. Um, Isle of Plenty is a hugely important piece of music at the end of that album because of course it's a callback to Dancing with the Moonlit Night at the beginning, and it is referencing the loss of English culture and selling England by the pound because there's a lot of witty wordplay there, and they incorporate four supermarket chains in the UK. Um, what is it? I don't belong here, cried out Tessa out loud. Easy love, there's a Safeway home. Thankful for her fine fare discount. Fine fare was the second one. Tesco operates. Tesco and the cooperative. Those were the four supermarket chains, for those US citizens who didn't know that. I'm sure most of you did. Um, this album came out in October 73, 2 months before Tales from Topographic Oceans. So this was a hugely momentous time in my life because I was desperately waiting for Topographic Oceans and I was desperately waiting for the follow up to Foxtrot. And I mean, how lucky were we to have two bands like Genesis and Yes at their peak at the same time? And folk like me, at my particular age, just 20 years of age, um, this was all I was really worried about. But I had other things going on in my life. I had to find a career after messing around in an office for 3 years. And so just after this album was released, I bought it. I think it was the week after, so the second week of February, of November, the second week of October. I went down to London for an interview to join, guess what, a supermarket chain, but not one of the four mentioned in Isle of Plenty. No, it was another one. And after the interview, I just remember I'm on the train going back towards Birmingham, and I'm wondering whether I've got the job or not. It was a trainee manager position, and Isle of Plenty kept coming into my head. uh, Hopefully, I was going to get a fine fare discount or a fine fare review of the interview, and sure enough, I did get the job, and so that was. And that's why I moved down to London to go and work for this supermarket chain. And that's why Tales from Topographic Oceans was so important to me because my first few weeks in London at the end of December coincided with my first few weeks owning that album and loving every minute of it as well. So these two albums sort of helped me through um, what turned out to be the most important couple of months of my life, because my whole career was in retail, and it is as a result of joining this particular chain. So there we go. Um, Gosh, all you get is old memories of my life, don't you? Let's talk about the music. Um, okay, it's split into two halves, and the first half is so pastoral, it is so gorgeous, and you've got Tony and Mike on acoustic 12 strings and Steve on his electric guitar. And that whole intro and first portion is beautiful guitar playing. The lyrics, I think, were written by, Rutherford. No, who did the lyrics? Tony and Mike wrote the lyrics, and it was based on T.S. Eliot's The Wasteland, a famous poem. And it's very peaceful, particularly after you've had the sort of the crash bang um, long story of the Battle of Epping Forest before on this side of the album, and then of course there's After the Ordeal after that. It's a very long side of music. It's about 26 minutes, a lot for a vinyl album at that particular time. But then again, we move into the second portion of the cinema show, which of course is that instrumental piece, 4.5 or 5 minutes, however long it is, of Tony on his brand new ARP Pro Soloist synthesizer. It was a new toy for him. He just got it before they started recording the album. And so he uses all the tricks and all the sounds there. And of course, with Mike on rhythm guitar and Phil on drums. And there's a lovely piece. It's in Wikipedia. I've seen it in quite a few places where, as they were recording this and when they started playing it on stage live, Phil started thinking to himself, well, if ever Peter or Steve or both of them left the band, I think we could do a good job, the three of us that are left. Um, yeah, be careful what you wish for, Phil. It happened. And of course, when you saw them live, they did in fact leave the stage. Peter and Steve would leave and go off and have a drink or a smoke or whatever you do. And they left the stage to the three guys who were playing, and would come back, of course, at the end for Isle of Plenty. It's a wonderful synth solo, isn't it? So melodic and interesting. Interesting is the thing, without being over flashy. It's just beautiful melody after beautiful melody. I love it. It's always been the favourite part of this album for me. Yes, I think so. My favourite part of the album. In the early days, when I was younger, a lot younger, I did love I Know What I Like in Your Wardrobe. But from a music point of view, this is my favourite bit. Um, so there's Genesis, and that's the cinema show and Isle of Plenty. And now's the time for you to be asked to write comments below. Please let me know what you think of this particular album. It wasn't particularly well received at the time, mind you. Prog stuff wasn't in those days. People didn't understand it, and even the record company and even their manager, Tony Stratton Smith, didn't much like it. It's too much music, they said, too many long musical passages, and there are, but I think that's what adds to to the allure of the album. And of course, over time, it has grown in everyone's estimation. Um, Steve Hackett thinks it's the best thing they ever did, and he's very proud of his contributions. And listening to it again there now on this 2007 remaster, you really can pick up all of the stuff that Steve's doing. Obviously, before we get to the second part and the solo, but there's a lot of really lovely playing by Steve there, and he was very happy about everything through the entire album. The other guys, not quite so much. Tony and Mike, I thought I think they thought it was a little bit inconsistent. Um, the Battle of Epping Forest is considered to be a bit too wordy, and I must say I have my moments. I enjoy it from time to time. Um, Sometimes it can go on just a little bit. There's a beautiful piece of music in that, though, which we must do it. We'll do it as the channel gets a little bit older. We will revisit this album. I know we will, and we shall do Battle of Epping Forest. Of course, we've got Firth of Fifth to do, and we've got Dancing with the Moonlit Night, and we've got I Know What I Like in Your Wardrobe. So I mean, there's a lot of stuff, a lot of really good stuff. So yes, we will get back to this album, of course, in the future. Um, but I think we'll finish off there. Would you please like and subscribe? That would really help the channel. So if you haven't subscribed yet, please do so. Likes are very important. And I hope you enjoyed listening to Genesis again and listening to me rabbit on for a bit. And I hope that I'll see you on the next video, which will be tomorrow, because we do a video every day. So until then, thanks for joining me. Cheers, everyone. See you soon.